Michigan love or just spitting out the facts? Welcome into the Voice of College Football. Appreciate you stopping by for the best discussion, debate, and analysis. Please like the video and subscribe right here at the Voice of College Football. We have taken up this exercise on a number of occasions. We enjoy doing it. We love the metrics, the breakdown, and of course, putting it into context is the most important thing. It's Ohio State, it's Michigan. The comparison all time, past 70 years, 50 years, pick your year, 21st century, or the past 3 years. Michigan fans, enjoy. Since 2021, Michigan's 40-3, Ohio State 33-6 against ranked teams. Michigan, a sterling 9-3, Ohio State 8-6 against top 10 teams. The Maize and Blue 7-3. Of course, their two most recent efforts resulted in a national championship defeating Alabama and Washington. Ohio State 4-5 against top 10 teams. Of course, 3 of those games against Michigan, 4-2 against everyone else in the top 10. In postseason play over the past 3 seasons, Michigan is 2-2, and all 4 games played in the college football playoff. Trampled by Georgia, blew one to TCU in 2022, and then, of course, the splendid run in 2023 against the Huskies and the Tide have produced a national championship. Meanwhile, Ohio State in postseason play over that same time frame won the Rose Bowl, lost to Georgia on a last-second field goal miss, and then, of course, lost to Mizzou in the Cotton Bowl this past season. One college football playoff appearance for Ohio State resulted in a resounding 42-41 loss to Georgia. AP rankings for these 3 years. Michigan has finished at number 3 with playoff losses, and then, of course, the national championship at number 1. Ohio State, number 6 after the Rose Bowl win, number 4 after the playoff loss, and then they toppled all the way down to number 10 in the final AP rankings at 11-2 following the 14-3 loss to Missouri. In the Big Ten, Michigan's been dominant, to say the least, 26-1. That one loss to Sparty in 2021. They have swept the Big Ten since, including, of course, Ohio State and Penn State, and 3 Big Ten titles in defeating in those years Iowa, Purdue, and Iowa again in Big Ten championship games. And we could total up the scores, but let's see. They beat Iowa by 39, beat Purdue by 21, then beat Iowa by 26. So 3 complete annihilations in Big Ten championship games. And for the Buckeyes, we've got 24-3, all 3 losses to Michigan. Otherwise, Ohio State 24-0 against the Big Ten. In fact, Ohio State has won 40 consecutive games against the Big Ten. That is crazy. 40 consecutive against everyone but Michigan, going back to the loss in 2018 in West Lafayette to Purdue. Also looking at the point differential for each team over the past 3 seasons, Michigan has outscored its opponents by 258 points, 341, and then 382 points in the most dominant of the 3 seasons this past year in 2023. So Michigan has outscored its opponents by almost 1,000 points over the past 3 seasons, or 22.8 per game. Ohio State outscoring opponents by 298, 302, and not as many this year at 251, losing those 2 games to Michigan by 6 and Missouri by 11. The point differential for the Buckeyes is 851. That's 21.8 per game, or just 1 point below Michigan. Add it all together, and the difference has been 1 game, the game. And, of course, that the game means everything. Ohio State and Michigan have pummeled the Big Ten, and then they meet on the final Saturday of November, and Michigan has won 2 decisive games and then pulled out a 30-24 last drive win against the Buckeyes, marching on to a national championship, something the Buckeyes have not achieved since 2014. Of course, Ohio State blew its shot against Georgia in 2022. We will take on any 2 teams, any time frame. Leave your requests. You give us the teams, you give us the time frame in which you would like us to match up the 2 programs. Now, this being a limited period of time in 3 years, not as much to determine here. Check out the Florida State Miami video we put together. It's down in the comments section, and we laid out Florida State and Miami in the 21st century on all factors. We looked at championships, conference championships, record, conference record, AP final rankings, consensus All-Americans. We went through NFL draft selections, first-round selections, and even more. So give us your request, and we will size up the programs right here at the Voice of College Football.